Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Having a life coach can really literally change your life. And there's different types of coaches out there. We're going to dig deeper into that today and how to pick a life coach and what it can do to impact your life. And she does so much as a mindset and life coach, and also hypnotherapy, blending all of these modalities together to help you heal. And she's back with us. Dawn Torkelson is on the program. Hey, Dawn, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. And we've
Nice.
heard, the term life coach, kind of a buzz, two words right now.
Right.
Mindset is another word that's out there that's picking up attention. You blend the two. When we say mindset, even before we get to the coaching part, what is your mindset? What is a good mindset? What do we mean by all of that?
Well, mindset is really the way you see the world. So, mindset is your perception of your reality. And so everyone's mindset is going to be a little different based on their life experiences and what they've been taught and what they believe. And sometimes the best way to solve your problem is to get out of your mindset and kind of create a new mindset. Because sometimes, you get you might have a limiting belief that's holding you back. There might be, you might have emotions or something that's unresolved. So you're stuck in a problem and you're looking at it from only one angle. And by being able to remove yourself from that problem and be able to kind of see a bird's eye picture of it, and it really helps you to see all the other solutions that you might be missing when you're really focused on just your perspective.
And when we say the mindset, that could even be from limiting beliefs from going way back. And we've spoken about this before, that
Yeah.
they could be learned from 0 to 7 years of age, and you're carrying it decades later into your adult life. And that mindset could be simply as, I'm never going to earn enough money, or I can't, I'm never good enough. I'm never good enough, or I always pick the wrong people to hang out with, or bad relationships.
Yeah.
We're talking about changing that mindset, because that's your perception. Is it really your reality? Probably not, but it is your reality because of your limiting belief.
Right. I mean, it for example, you said, what did you just say? You said, I'm not good enough, right?
Right.
So let's say when you were a kid, I don't know, you felt like your parents didn't pay attention to you. You maybe didn't do very good in school. So you're thinking, well, I'm not really good enough to go to college. Just as a small example.
Sure.
But is that true? Is that, and that's the question you have to ask. Is that true? The reality is, no, you are good enough to go to college. Your reality is you're not going to college because you don't think you would succeed. But reality is, if you went to college, you would probably have a very good success rate, because if you go, you want to be there. I'd ask the question, have you ever learned anything before? So obviously you can learn, because there's nobody could say, no, I've never learned anything. Well, you're speaking to me right now, so you obviously learned to talk. So yes, you can learn. And it's just kind of getting out of that headspace of, well, I've been knocked down my whole life, so I don't know how to get up. And that's kind of what I do as a mindset coach, is I show you how to get up.
And what we're talking about, not good enough, could be
Anything.
could be up. Like, I always go back to this because it actually happened to me. Had an art teacher, loved art, wanted to be a cartoonist. Never forget, 11th grade, I paint something, and I just had trouble with the sky. I was frustrated. I was kind of a perfectionist, and it's just not coming out. Ms. Meyer, Well, the sky's not coming out. Can you show me how to do it? Comes over with her coffee breath. Wonderful lady, but she paints the sky and then she says, "You're an underachiever. You know you could do better than that." And I never forgot that. So, and that could even happen at 5 years old, where little Jimmy comes in with drawing, and mom says, "Oh, that's wonderful. The grass is green, not orange. Okay, you know better than that." And then that's stuck in your head.
Right. And that kind of limit that actually right there, that would limit your creative juices, because why can't the grass be orange? Maybe in this picture it's orange. Maybe the light's reflecting on it, or maybe you just like orange. Like, why can't it be orange?
Exactly. By the way,
You know?
he said that because years later I opened a marketing company called Creative Juice.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's hilarious.
And I had since changed the name. I put my name on it. Oh, by the way, the orange on the wall right there because I love that color. Uh, but you're right. You're right. That could limit
I
your.
mean, right there, that could stop you from wanting to create something else. It could, right there, you could be like, okay, well, I obviously can't do art, so now I got to find something else to do, which could go both ways. It could motivate you to find another passion, or it could stop you from finding that other passion because you've already decided, well, whatever choices I make are wrong. But because it goes deeper than oh, you're just not a good artist. It When you really think about it, deep in the mindset, what it's teaching you is you make bad choices. You can't trust your own choices
Right.
because you made it orange thinking it was pretty. It made you happy. And then someone told you, yeah, that's not very good. So what they're really saying is don't trust what makes you happy. And what happens when you don't trust what makes you happy? You end up living a life where you're not happy,
Hmm. Or even just trusting
you know?
what's inside of you in general. You're making a decision and you wrestle with it because you don't trust yourself. You
Yeah.
know that, and there's a whole mindset there, getting to the point where you trust your intuition, you trust your gut feeling, you trust you.
Yeah. And that's actually really the heart of what my practice is. That's really the heart of what I do is I help people learn to get in touch with themselves in a way that they they build a really solid relationship based off love. So they learn to love themselves, which I know is like thrown around all the time. People say you need to love yourself. Well, then the question is, okay, how? How do I do that? When
Yeah.
I've never been taught love, when I haven't seen other people do it, or maybe you have someone in their life who has that skill, but you don't think you can be like them. So it's like, how do you do that? Well, I teach you the how. I show you how to do that.
That's huge. And
Yeah.
most of us just you can't find that online. Yes, you can find a pep talk in a blog or an article that says you're supposed to love yourself, and you are, but many of us don't know how, especially going back to what we're talking about, limiting beliefs. You could have got bullied, and
Mhm.
beat down like that mentally. So then you're not going to look in the mirror and say, "Wow, you're awesome, dude." It's just
Right.
not going to happen. Not easily.
Yeah. And it took me a while to get to the point where I could do that mirror exercise where I look in the mirror every morning and I look into my own eyes and I just say, I love you. You're awesome. You're amazing. Like, I am so lucky to be myself, to be me today.
Hmm.
You know, I mean, when I first did that, it made me feel awkward. It was uncomfortable. And that was powerful to me when I thought, oh my God, I'm telling myself I'm amazing and I feel uncomfortable saying that.
Yeah.
And that's when I knew, okay, I have a block. So I just kept doing it and I kept doing it until it no longer felt uncomfortable and it felt good. And it feels so good now, that if anyone says anything different, I don't even register it.
Yeah.
Like if you're trying to insult me, I'm like, no, that's because I know the truth.
because that's
I
not
know the truth.
right.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's interesting. I realized this, and I did the same exact thing you did. It took time to get to that point where, I could say, you're a good guy. Like you really are. You care about people, you have integrity, all of that. But my wake up was at the gym. Now, many times you look in the mirror and you focus, it's just you're seeing this and you're like, oh man, look at that over there. You got one of those there and there, and like, and you're hyper focused on this little thing. So one day I was at the gym and it was just, the full mirror. And I'm like, I look for a second. No, I don't stare at myself. And I'm like, thinking the whole, actually not that bad. you know, when you look at it as a whole, like,
right.
if you just focus on one area, it's like, look at that. But when you look at the total sum, it's like, you got some good stuff going on there. You should realize that.
Well, yeah. I mean, when you really think about it, like you're saying, a whole, we are, I mean, we are such an amazing beings. Our bodies are created to heal.
Yeah.
And, we get cuts, we heal. We break bones, we heal. I mean, everything about us heals, you know. Um, I know we've spoken before. 11 months ago, I had spinal surgery and was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer. And I've never, first thing is you got to have a powerful mindset. I've never owned that diagnosis. I say it's a misdiagnosis and it's okay, you know, but I haven't felt better in a long time. What that diagnosis did for me was allow me to love my life even more. I appreciate everything. I took the dog for a walk today and I just saw the world from a whole different new set of eyes. And
Hmm.
I wake up every morning and I see the world through a whole new set of eyes. And it was a gift. And that is what I try. I mean, I'm living, I'm walking my own walk and talking my own talk. So this is what I was trying to help people do prior to this. And and now I feel like I'm doing it, so I know it works. I know how to help people get past whatever fear is blocking them.
And from an interesting perspective, of course, your own personal challenges, but you change your mindset.
Mhm.
I believe you can easily help others do that. And in terms of coaching, that's fantastic right there. But you also have under your, I call it the tool cabinet. What do you do, guys? Oh, I got this hypnotherapy. So,
Yeah,
and I've had hypnotherapy and it was great in terms of healing. But when you add that with everything else we're talking about, whoa, powerful combination.
it is. And it's a whole strategy because I didn't just change my mindset because I did decide I'm going to have a new thought today. And that's the first part of it. But affirmations, if it's just on a conscious level, take a long time. And with hypnotherapy, you can get that new mindset straight into the subconscious mind. And that's where the programming is. So I literally just made a new program that I run off on a daily now. Instead of the fear, the negative thoughts, my new program is very empowering. My new program is this is amazing. This is great. Like, but it's not like you never have a challenge, but with the right strategy, whatever that challenge is, you can find the right solution instead of being freaked out by the challenge, you can embrace the solution.
And this is not all fluffy stuff. There are some will hear it and like, oh, come on, it's all woo woo. No, it's proven. Hypnotherapy has been around for many, 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 many decades because it works.
Well,
And
it's been around before verbal therapy.
sure,
Yeah.
yeah, it's been proven, and and I get it. People may be a little apprehensive because they don't know a lot about hypnotherapy, think that the mind is being controlled. No, you're helping somebody else work with their own mind. It's like here's
Yes.
the keys to opening up your mind. That's what you hand somebody. You're not doing anything else than
No,
just that.
exactly. That's what I'm doing. I'm giving someone the keys. They drop the keys to the lock, and I'm the key holder. I'm handing them the keys.
Yeah.
And a lot of this every is I have a book coming out at the end of the year, and it's called Healing the Body and Nurturing the Soul. It's my journey from disease to ease. And and in that I talk about everything from when I had the surgery and got the diagnosis to what I did to really bring the mind, body, spirit together, to create this vessel that can heal, not just on a physical level, but on the mental level, where I actually believe all healing begins. And I couldn't do that without the connection to source and my higher self. So it's a book on a lot of tools that you can use in your own life to to get the solutions to some of the problems that are holding you back.
Do you, and I'm going to get a little personal here if I could,
Sure.
and you've shared a lot with us in your journey, and you've been through even in the last year a lot going on. Do you find things pop up for you still that, wow, either a limiting belief or something that gets in the way, and you have to take care of it by way of either self hypnosis or whatever, change your mindset?
Um, I I do work every day. I do. I envision like my cells healing. I talk to my body all the time until I congratulate it. I congratulate it for doing such a good job in healing, and I manifest the cells, the tumors shrinking, and the cells being totally healthy and whole. But as for limiting beliefs, if something pops up, the difference is now I recognize it. Like if I'm doing something and or I have an opportunity, or there's something I have to do, and I feel that fear or that hesitation, or I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this. I recognize it. And then I ask myself, okay, what is this telling me? And um for example, when I had to do radiation, I was not comfortable with that because I feel like that can do a lot more harm than good. But I sat down with my own body and I told myself, you're safe. You're safe. You're okay. You're going to heal rapidly. I'm not doing this to hurt you. This is going to help. And I had this conversation with my body before the radiation, and the radiation, that was pretty hardcore. It burnt my esophagus. It was not a fun part of the journey. However, I healed. I had to go through like a week where I couldn't swallow and I was getting IVs, and then another couple of weeks of just like broth, because I couldn't have anything hard in my throat. But um it passed, and it passed quickly, and it passed, and I wasn't afraid. Like instead of boohooing about it every day, I just said, you know what, it's okay, I'm healing, and I just kept focusing on that. So
Yeah,
things do come up, but I handle it differently. I
I'm
don't spend a lot of time on it.
I'm right there with you. And I
Yeah.
don't know if I shared with you, I had radiation for skin cancer
Yes.
right here, this whole entire area, which was a year and 4 months ago.
And you look great.
And even thank you. And even if it was a year ago last month, you could still see it. I mean, it looked, my face was falling off. But somebody said to me leading up to it, I don't know if you want to do that, radiation there. I mean, that's your ear, and there's a lot of important stuff in this area. And
Yeah.
I just meditated on it, thought about it. I'm like, seems like it's the answer, and I'm going to do it, and it's going to be okay. And it did turn out perfectly fine. I got the softest baby skin you could ever feel right there. Um, I have a patch of hair in the back that didn't come back, but it's on the edge. So I go to the barber and he just you can't even tell because he
Right.
just trims it up that way because it's on the edge.
Yeah.
And that's it. It all worked. Everything was fine. But I do believe that was part of that was about a year and a half into my journey of the mindset and things like that. Um, and that helped me because if I wasn't in that mindset, it would have been, being bolted to a table where you can barely breathe. I'd be like, what am I going to do? It's like, it'll be okay. You'll get through
Right. And my mindset has a lot to do with that. Like I said, I went in telling myself, you know, I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I'm blessed to have, God made these doctors with this high intelligence and they understand this stuff and I'm lucky to have them. And I'm lucky to live in a time where we have this kind of technology. And there's some things that I wouldn't do, even though it wasn't offered to me. It's not they don't it wouldn't do me any good, like chemo wouldn't do me any good. But so it's not something that I've had to do. But that's something I wasn't planning on doing anyway. But the radiation, I was like, okay, this is necessary, for because of where the tumors were at. I'm like, yeah, they got to go, you
yeah,
know. But I looked at the blessing in it, the highly trained doctors, the
same,
technology we have,
same.
and I felt really fortunate that I have them.
I felt the same exact,
Yeah.
and
So it's different than going in being afraid, because I think the way you heal changes with the emotions and the mindset you have. So if I was afraid and thinking of worst case scenario constantly, then your body creates the cortisol and all the negative stuff, and you're tense, and I it's just so self-sabotaging, when you're thinking all the negative things. And when you work with someone like me and you learn a strategy and you learn to see the big picture and to see what you can appreciate even from the worst situation, and you find out who's in your corner and your support group and your tribe and who loves you. I think it's really important to have someone help you get out of that fear mindset where you're not seeing all the good, because sometimes you can get stuck thinking, oh my God, there is no good in this situation. And believe it or not, it may not be what you want, but there is something good. And you just have to focus on that and then have a strategy. Okay, so once I get past this, now what am I going to do? And that's where the coaching comes in. And the hypnotherapy comes in to help really solidify these new patterns, and that's kind of how they work together, you know, is is you find out what the problem is, you get a new perspective, and then you you use that new perspective to find your solution, and then you get a strategy on how to attain the goal you want.
Looking at all of this and being very green naive in the beginning, now I see it. And there's many fantastic hypnotherapists out there and they get it done. But now I look at it, now that you've gotten rid of the limiting beliefs and put the good stuff in your subconscious and you're ready to go, where do you go? And that's why you need a mindset and a life coach. Because now it's like we've rebuilt the car and there it is sitting in the driveway. Well, I don't know where to go, or I'm not really sure how to drive this new car, and that's where that comes in. So they perfectly play off of each other. And again, I've done hypnotherapy in itself, and that's great, but you also need help with the other side of it.
Yeah,
It
you need this strategy, like you said. You could be a kid who rebuilds a car, but you haven't learned to drive yet.
right. What do I do?
So you can't get in it and drive it, you know? And I don't believe in leaving people hanging. I don't. And I went to like rah-rah seminars when I was younger and stuff, and I always felt like this is good for motivation, but I always felt like it left me hanging. And like, okay, I'm motivated. Now what? I want to do this. How do I do it? So when I started learning these skills, I realized, wow, this is the how. Like I am learning the how. And so not only can I help motivate someone and help them solve their problem, help them get in touch with themselves and to trust their own intuition, I can also lead them to deciding, okay, who do you want to be? What do you want now? And with the hypnotherapy, help them to be who they want to be because that's their true self. That's who they are. And it's not like they're getting back in touch with who they are. It's not like they ever lost it. They just strayed away, you know, like we all do, we're all very confident people. But something happened at some time in our life where we lost that confidence. And it's just reconnecting you to yourself where you get in touch with that confidence again and you become the confident person that you truly are.
And you don't even realize it happened. Like it, because it's
No,
over years where you may have turned into a different type of person, but you want to get back to what you know is true in you. You've got
your
all,
true self.
yeah. Um, we're out of
Yeah.
time. It goes
It
by.
always flies when we're having fun.
It really does. It really does. And learn so much too. Your website, Dawn, how do we find you?
Advancedlifecoaching.org. And you can also call me. The area code 702-266-1132 or shoot me an email at positivenlp@gmail.com.
The
And
stuff.
look for my book.
Yeah. When are we looking for the book? When are we
It should be at the end of the year. And again, it's healing the body, nurturing the soul, my journey from disease to ease. Um, I This
I'll-
is what the cover is going to look like.
cool.
I just had the people working on it.
I gotta tell you, if you didn't tell me you were writing a book, I would have said you need to write a book. I'm
Yeah.
totally serious, especially the way you are today, and knowing that it was 11 months ago what you were dealing with,
Yeah.
even 6 months ago, and all along the way, and remarkably, how you've come through all of that because of this. Because of
Yeah.
this.
And it is. And it's this and it's that. I mean, when I really strengthen that higher self connection and and I realized that we are the most a magnificent creation, and we are part of that creation. We are part. We can't, that means we're part of the creator, you know, and and if the creator made everything, everything, the air, the water, us, ourselves, they were made to perfection. And we got away from that. And when you can get back to that, you can get it working back to its ideal performance.
And living life the way you should be living it.
Absolutely.
Dawn,
Yeah.
always great having you here. I know somewhere along the line we'll reconnect. I know it's going to happen.
Yeah. There's always a plan.
There's always, yeah, I don't know what the plan is, but somebody told me years ago on my journey, it will all be revealed. No matter what, it all gets revealed. When? I don't know. I don't have that answer. But I don't
Yeah,
need
exactly.
patience. All the best. We'll talk soon, okay?
All right. All the best to you. Thank you so much.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, I mean, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.